Hello everyone and welcome to another lecture. Let's continue with our connection to the MySQL database and inserting values from our form. And so the first thing we should do now is we want to insert values that we type in our form to our database. And we know that everything in this script is working to connect to our database. So what I'm going to do is save this as connection.php. And I'm going to create a new file. Okay. And this file is where I'm going to store the script that will process all the validation of the form. Okay, so whatever the user types in the form will go through this script. Processing form, and save this as processing.php. Okay. The first thing is to grab all the values that come from the form in variables that I'm going to create here. Okay, so the first should be the first name, but let me type fname equals, and since we are using the post method, we need to use the variable PHP post and square brackets semicolon. Inside the square brackets, you need to put the name that it's inside the input here, which is fname. Okay, so you see that each one has a name. So this is what we're going to use on the post variable. So here we type fname and lname, and here we type post. Oops, lname semicolon. And now we have the email gender. Okay, email equals the post and here gender equals post. Next is age. So age equals post age. And now we have the comments. Okay, so comments. Comments, oops, that's it. And finally, age comments, and finally we have the password. Okay, so these are all the values. You can type here processing form values. These are all the values that will be stored with the post method, and then we can store them in our database. Now, but before we connect to our database and inserting values, we need to do a little condition here so we can avoid problems related to security, and we are sure that the values that are coming through the post method are from the form and not from some bot or hacking script. So in order to check that the form has been submitted, first we're going to type if, and then we're going to use the server variable that comes with PHP and holds several values that we can use, and one of them is the request method value. Okay, so we have to type request method. Okay, and this has to be equals to post. Okay, so this is a condition where we say if the server request method is equal to post, so if the form has been submitted with the post method, do this, else echo, and we can say some no form has been submitted. Save this, and now here we're going to use another if statement so we can check if all of these variables have indeed a value stored in them. So what we do is check one by one if something is stored by the user in the form, because if not, the user can type first name, last name, and the user can leave the email in blank and fill the rest of the form. We need to check if everything is completed and everything has a value on it. So this is basically a simple form validation. We will not validate passwords or if the email is a valid email. We will leave that for later on. But it's a simple method that you can use just to check if the user types something. So let's type if, and we're going to use the function isSet. Okay, so the function isSet basically checks if there's a value set in this variable. The variable, we need to open a new parenthesis. The variable is going to be fname, lname, email, email, gender, age, comments, and a password. And that's it. Basically, with this simple function, we can check if everything has a value on it. And now curly brackets, and here let's type include, and the file we're gonna get is the connection file, okay, to start connecting to the database. So unless the user fills up all the values in the form, we will not get into this part, okay, to include the connection and start inserting values on the database. Okay, first of all, we need to check if there's a request method post from the form. If the user clicked the button to submit the form, then we check all the values of the form, if none of them is missing, and we can create an else statement here in case that some of the values are not submitted. And here we can type echo, please fill all values of the form. Okay. Now we need to change something in userform.php, which is the form action, which is the file that will process the form. It's not handle.php, is processing.php method post. So let's go back here. Let's say I go directly to processing.php through the URL. And now you understand why do we need to create an if condition so we can avoid some hacking. So if I type process.php, processing, okay, so no form has been submitted. We have a bunch of errors, but we know that we cannot process the form. Okay, so if we go back here actually all of this should be inside the condition after the post request here. Okay, so let's delete all this. And let's repeat the process. So if we go here, type processing, there it is. No form has been submitted. We cannot process this script. Okay, now let's go to the form. So user form PHP and click submit. Please fill out all the values of the form. And we have some errors here already in line 7 and line 9. Gender and LA name. Okay, so let's go back here and go to processing. Okay, we have, this is wrong. Okay, so now if we repeat it, let's click submit. Okay, we have noticed undefined index gender in line 9. Please fill all values of the form. So don't worry about this notice. I will tell you later how you can take this out. It's not an important error for now. So please fill all the values of the form. So let's type here, Victor, male, between 30 and 60, whatever, and the password, we can type whatever you want. Submit, and okay, something is wrong here. Okay, so I found a little error here that I have. It's L name and not LANME. It's L name. Okay, sorry for that. So let's check. Let's go back here, user form. If everything is okay, we should get to here, which has this little echo saying you're connected to database. So let's try it again. Mail. Type whatever you want here, and here submit, and there it is. You are connected to my first database. So yes, we basically did everything, and everything is working perfectly. The only thing we need is insert values to the database after the connection. Okay, here. There's also another technique that you can use, is very common. You can use the script that processes all the data that comes from the form. Let's copy this. You can use it in the same file or the same PHP file that has the form. And how to do this? Well, very simple. In the top of the form or before the form, let's paste this script that we had in the processing.php. Okay. Now this script can be pretty much the same. We don't need to do any changes here. The only thing you should change is, instead of the form action, the file that handles all this information in the form action field should be user form. Okay, so it should be the file that has the form itself. Now let's try this, and let's type user form PHP. And you see that no form has been submitted. So in this case, we don't need this echo here. Okay, you can type, please complete the form. Okay, save this. And up in here, you can type error. Please complete all fields. Save this. Okay, let's try this. Refresh. Okay, here we have, please complete the form. So I can even give strong here. You can even type, sorry. Let's give a header 3. Let's go back. Refresh, there it is. Please complete the form. Awesome. Save this. Okay, so if we type Victor and email, and here email, and we forgot the password, we submit. Okay, so I also found out that there's a problem, and the if statement with the is set is not working very well. And you can see this by going to the user form, and you'll see that if we type here Victor and we left for example comments in blank and password, and we click submit, we still connect to the database. So this is an error, and in order for you to check this, and I can tell you why the error exists, basically some of the post values are set even if they are empty. So in some cases we can return something from a form empty, like password and comments as we did now, but it's considered set. In order to change this or avoid this problem, you can use the not empty function, okay? That will check basically if any of these variables are empty. So we need to do this for each one of the variables with the AND operator. So empty L name and not empty email and not empty and not empty and not empty comments and not empty password. Okay, I think we're done. Save this. So if none of them are empty, we'll do this. If in case that some of them are empty, we'll do error, you left some values in blank. Okay, now let's check if this works. Finally. Okay, please complete the form. So let's leave the first in blank. Last name, whatever. Here, here, here. Okay, error. You left some values in blank. So let's complete this. Submit. Error. You left some in blank again. And let's complete under password. Submit. You are connected. Okay, so now everything is working perfectly. There's also a lot of other ways you can check for a validation of a form. We will learn how to do that more specific validation later on the course. For now, you can use this not empty function. And this is all for now. See you in the next lecture. Bye.